shiny thing come crawling out from underneath a slab of sandstone. It had this brown body, and 12 eyes that were casting wildly about in all directions. It was adjusting itself now to the unwelcome light, and I could see its armoured segments reaching back from the two pincers, which were opening and snapping at the empty air. I was watching all this, but I couldn't tell him the segments on the abdomen led back to a tail, which suddenly began to curl up, brandishing its stinger, a hollow needle primed with poison. It was raising itself to striking height at this point, whipping out the stinger back and forth with cruel precision. I tried to call out to my brother, to warn him, but before I'd even summoned the words, suddenly his hand came down straight on top of it. He jumped back as though electrocuted. And for a split second, I could see the two surfaces, his fingertip and the scorpion stinger, tugging apart. The barbed point extracting itself from his skin, from the grooves of his fingerprint. I was aware at this point of the crab-like pinchers grappling on the ground, trying to break free. The tiger, he let out a shattering scream, and the scorpion managed to cut loose and dashed across the sand. That was the point I realised that it was a female, as clinging to her back were about a dozen babies, whipping back and forth as she ploughed through the sand. The tiger's eyes at this stage were darting around in every direction in confusion. His brain was trying to work out where he was, who he was. He had grown really pale, and his facial muscles were twitching, as though he really had been electrocuted. She was cowering beneath a large slab of sandstone this time, curled up beside a centipede. Her tail was slower to rise this time. She was obviously worn out, and she made no attempt to put up a real fight. But instead, she began spreading herself flatter against the ground. I considered smashing her there and then with the tripod, but then I thought about the Leatherman. I took it out, and I opened the pliers. And she tried bravely to sting that stainless steel pinchers, and even flipped herself over to attack them from her own frail pinchers. But she was completely outclassed. And I closed the pliers on her until I heard the exoskeleton